Is this on? It's on. We're recording. Okay, cool. Hi. Yeah, it's been a minute. Am I consistent at all? No. But you know what? That's a thing in the past. Who is this new Destiny? A new and improved one. I'm going through this whole new rebranding thing. I don't know if y'all saw the TikTok video that I posted the other day. I was like, guys, I'm about to make reading my full-time job. I'm about to put so much book content out on YouTube where it's like, if you were to search up booktuber, or if you were to search up books on YouTube, my face is gonna pop up. I cannot see myself out there in the world doing any other job besides reading. Reading and social media is just where it's at. I have anxiety. I am scared of people. So imagine I have y'all to talk to, and then I have my books to talk to y'all about. Like, come on. I'm about to make like a whole society out of this, and I'm excited. I'm about to be that YouTuber. Prepare to be sick of me. As y'all can tell by the title, we're gonna be doing my June reading wrap up. Is it the middle of July? Yes. So this video is a special video, you know, because I have been in a book slump and I've only been reading like 2 to 3 books a month. Now June though, I read like 6. Yes, I know, let's clap it up. Let's clap it up. I feel accomplished. I feel like a regular book person, because I feel like a regular book person averages about 6 books a month. Since I was in my book slump, I was like, okay guys, I need to just read something really lighthearted, something really quick, not that long, something that's just gonna get me in the groove of reading, right? The first book is The Kiss Quotient. By the way, I be on Goodreads like it's Twitter. I be on Goodreads every day commenting on their like new books that they shelved, their ratings. I be tweeting. If you want to be on my Goodreads Twitter, just follow me on Goodreads. Link is gonna be in the description. I gave this book 3 stars. Do I know why? Not really. The title of this book makes no sense considering the contents inside of it. On the book, you can literally see like mathematical equations, and I'm thinking like, okay, this has to do with something that's like math. No, I have no idea why this book is called what it is. Considering I am a fantasy whore, like I live, breathe, eat, sleep fantasy, anything that's not fantasy, it's really hard to please me. I gave this a 3 stars because I did like the representation of Asperger's. I really connected with the main character where she hated the touch of people, because I hate the touch of people. I hate touching people, or people touching me when I'm just not really close with them, and I was like, wow, I do understand that. I understand you. She didn't make poor decisions either, so I'm really happy about that. And Michael, the love interest, I liked him a lot. Michael is a sex worker, and we have Stella over here who wants to learn how to have intimacy, and basically she hires him. Realistically, this book could have went a different way. This book could have been like she hired him, and then after they first got intimate the first night, she's in love. And that's not how it worked. She was about her bag. She was like, okay, I'm paying you and I need you to teach me. And she was so serious. Every time they were supposed to have lessons, she was focused on the lesson. That's all she cared about. She didn't even care about Michael. She cared about the lessons and her getting taught. So I was like, yeah girl, you get what you pay for. The whole premise and the whole concept, it was good. Okay, the second book I read is 6 of Crows. 6 of freaking Crows by Leigh Bardugo. I was so excited to read this book because I have serious FOMO. When it comes to books, I have crazy FOMO. Like if you tell me a book is so popular right now and everyone talks about it and it's a 5-star book, I'm sorry, I'm picking it up. I love this book. I rated this 4.5 stars, 4 or 4.5 stars, I forgot. But the only reason I rated it this rating was because right after I read Crooked Kingdom. Crooked Kingdom was 5 stars. This one was 4.5. This is 5 stars. So the reason it's not 5 stars was because it was really hard to get into. That could have been my fault because I didn't understand the world building, because I didn't read Shadow and Bone. But then again, people said that you don't need to read Shadow and Bone, and Shadow and Bone is trash. The world building was kind of confusing. I didn't really understand it. It took me a while to get into it, but once you're in, you're in. The whole found family aspect is amazing. So this whole book is about a heist where Kaz is about his money. He's like a gang leader who worked his way from the bottom to the top, and now he's like the owner, or not owner, but like he's the leader of this gang or whatever. Someone offers him a whole shit ton of money. And he was like, really? Okay, bet, let me round up some people. He rounded up some people, and basically this is what this whole book's about. He found like 5 other people to join his squad to do this heist, impossible heist, because apparently if you do this heist, the chances of you living and surviving is very, very slim to nothing. Oh my gosh, let me tell you, the plot twist in this book will have you on your toes. I'm not into thrillers, but this book was damn near a thriller. And it's romance. There's like the subplot of romance. Every character in this book gets a love interest. Everyone is trauma babies. Everyone. You get the backstory of every single person that is in his little group, the 6 people, and you find out about Kaz's backstory, Inej's backstory, Nina's backstory. I forgot these people's names, but listen, you find out about everyone's backstory and it's all traumatic. But when I tell you this book had me on my toes, especially with the plot twist be making me, the plot twist be like having me in a chokehold. This book, you thought this book had plot twists? No, this book has the craziest plot twist ever. And this book had me crying because something happens towards the end and I was like, okay, Miss Bardugo, you didn't need to do that. These are my two new babies, and this is what fantasy is supposed to be. Okay, so then the next book I read was Once Upon a Broken Heart. First of all, let's have a moment of silence because this book is so pretty. This is the Barnes & Noble edition, and when I saw it, I was like, I'm gonna pick it up. And then when you open it up, the map is also pink and magical. Now, did I like this book? No, not at all. But did I rate it a 3 stars when it should have been lower? Yes, let me explain. I posted on TikTok like a couple months ago, like quite a few months ago, saying I wanted a book that's gonna tear me apart. I wanted a book where the guy will literally sacrifice the earth, the world, to save this one girl. They said, Once Upon a Broken Heart, Once Upon a Broken Heart. I read it and this is not it. This is the most lightest book. This is the most softest book, the most annoyingest book, and I fell for it. Y'all fooled me. This book was giving Disney Channel. It felt like I was watching a Disney Channel movie, like a Disney Channel princess movie. I get that it's YA, but this is too YA for me. I need adult YA, not YA where it seems like the main character is acting like a 15-year-old. First of all, being in her thoughts is the most annoyingest thing in the world. I actually could not. She made the most annoyingest and most horrible decisions. I want to put this book down so much. She's so stupid. I'm sorry. And nothing really happens. Book was so flat. My heart was not beating at all this whole book. I was just kind of going with the flow. I was just reading to just get this book out the way. And I have the second book, but then my friend read the second book and he said it wasn't worth it. So I am probably gonna read that at the end of the year if I haven't met my reading goal yet. And the reason I rated this 3 stars instead of lower is because I can see myself recommending this to someone who's into this type of stuff. This book is for people who have never read fantasy before, only have read contemporary romance, but they're trying to get into fantasy. I can understand why this is a popular book. But for people like me who went from 6 of Crows to this, it's not it. So then the next book I read, I don't have the physical copy because I read it on my Kindle, is Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan. That book I gave 5 stars. That book was amazing. It's like the contemporary romance I needed. Now listen, I don't rate contemporary romances 5 stars. I just don't, because it's not fantasy. Nothing can compare. The jealousy, the problem, nothing can compare to fantasy. So I'm very surprised that I rated Long Shot 5 stars. First of all, before I even get into it, this book has, oh my gosh, like even remembering that book, it's so traumatic. You need to check trigger warnings because it has sexual assault, it has the R word, really everything that you could imagine is in that book, and it was very graphic and it was hard to read sometimes, but once you got through it, the romance is beautiful. It's a basketball romance between these 2 guys. Iris is with this one basketball player. He is manipulative. He is just a horrible person. And then we have August West, who's also a basketball person, famous basketball player, and he literally met Iris and she's beautiful. He was obsessed with her ever since like day 1 and all that stuff. It was beautiful. It was kind of like insta love, but it was done great. This book spans out like 3 years. Oh, also this book has pregnancy, it has the pregnancy trope, and the reason I am spoiling that is because it's not the pregnancy trope that you would think. Usually the pregnancy trope I hate is when they're like in an argument or they're literally about to break up and then boom, pregnancy, which is why they stayed together. She was not okay with it, but she was okay with it. And that was before any of the bad stuff happened. They weren't even planning on breaking up. You just have to read the book to understand, and it's just 5 stars. And the love, the romance when she actually ends up getting with August, amazing. So then the last book I read is Divine Rivals. This was a book club pick from my book club. If you don't like being tied down to a book for a month, definitely still join my book club, because we just be talking about any type of books. We be helping each other through our book buying bands. We be showing each other. We be gossiping about books. Like, it's amazing. You don't even have to join my book club and read the book. We barely even talk about the book of the month. We mainly talk about everything else. I gave this book 4 stars. I should give it 3.5 stars because I didn't like the world building. I didn't like the fantasy aspect, but the letters carried. The letters in this book really had me at the edge of my seat. If the letters was not majority of this book, I probably would have DNF'd. The main thing about this book is that there's a magical typewriter. When you type on the typewriter and you slide it under like your closet door, whoever has the other magical typewriter, because there's like 3 but there's only like 2 out right now, the other person who owns that typewriter, the same type of typewriter, will get that message. So it's been like just letters going back and forth anonymously because they don't know who each other are except for like one person, and that's how the romance like came to be or whatever. The one thing I didn't like was that I think Rebecca Ross had the idea to do, okay, I want a storybook about a magical typewriter, right? Which is beautiful. It really could have been just a contemporary romance fiction or whatever. She could have just had a magical typewriter and then called it a day. But I think she thought that there's a magical typewriter, so it has to be a magical world where there's fantasy and stuff like that. No, it didn't have to be like that. When I tell you, I was reading the book and it was not making any sense. There's two magical typewriters. The person who made the magical typewriters was a magical person. So there was one magical person in this whole world, like this whole area that she lived in, and then there's magical gods. So the only 3 people with magic was that magical person who made the typewriter, and then these 2 gods at war. They're not even the main part of the story. Like, it just makes no sense to me. I thought that the world building and like the fantasy aspect was so weak, in my opinion. If you get past that and you're like, okay, this book is not fantasy, this book is just about a magical typewriter, this book is a 4-star book, 100%. Read at your own risk, but I just be ignoring. Anytime they talked about the gods or whatever, or the magical elements, I ignored it. Rebecca, I still love you. I think I might still get the second book, depending on what other people say about the book. I don't know. But yeah, that's the 6 books I read in June. I feel like I did a good month. The only 2 books that were 3 stars were these 2 books. Everything else was 4 and 5 stars, so I'm very proud of myself. But yeah, if you like this video, leave a thumbs up for your girl, because your girl is trying. Like I said, I'm going to be that booktuber. Y'all are gonna know my name because reading is my life and I can't imagine doing anything else. So if y'all want to help your girl out, leave a like, leave a comment, literally just tell me your current read. But yeah, I'll see you guys next week, hopefully on Sunday. If it's not a Sunday, y'all can literally just come screaming at me, be like, Destiny, where's the video? Okay, I'll see y'all next week. Bye.